Questions about the existence or non-existence of God have troubled and excited people for centuries, and they still do. Alister McGrath is a professor of theology in the University of Oxford. He converted to Christianity from atheism, and he still writes books about it. He's invited me to join him for a walk across the meadows in Oxford to chat about his views on the future of atheism. So look, Alister, as a Christian theologian, why are you so interested in atheism?
Well, I think atheism is extremely important. I mean, if you look at the history of the world in the last 200 years, atheism really has played a big role in shaping the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, all these things. So it's very important to ask, where do these ideas come from? Why do people find them attractive? Are they right?
Do you have more of a personal interest in this, though?
Well, I used to be an atheist myself, so I'm always interested in going back and re-examining these questions, because I think none of us are really absolutely sure about what we believe. It's always good to keep these questions open, to keep asking, is this really right?
So who are you trying to challenge the most, perhaps yourself or your readers?
Well, I think I'm trying to challenge myself, but also my readers, because I think this is intellectually fascinating. You know, looking at this question, is there a God? If there is, it's a big issue. So I think keeping this question alive is a very important issue for me personally, and I know for many others as well.
I think that's something atheists and religious believers agree on.
Yes, that's right.
We've been heading for Godstow Abbey on the edge of Oxford, once an important place of worship, which has been a ruin for centuries. Alister, when I come to this place, I think of the ruin and decline of religion, so why have you brought me here?
Well, I think certainly this place does speak to me of the passing of an age in which religion was dominant, certainly in England. But it also, I think, says to me something like this, that all worldviews have their peaks and then they decline. And in many ways, this building speaks to me of the fact that both religion and atheism rise and fall, and therefore it raises some very interesting questions. Who's going to rise, who's going to fall in the future? As I look at history, I see atheism beginning to enjoy a golden age in 1789 with the French Revolution, and then I see it really peaking and then falling away like the Berlin Wall in 1989. And maybe the ruins of the Berlin Wall actually remind us that all our systems have their day, whether they are religious or indeed anti-religious.
Most people just kind of lost interest in religion. That's the main thing. They're neither passionately atheist nor passionately believers. They just get on. They don't need it anymore. They don't need to have any deep beliefs about God or lack of God.
Well, I think that's a very important point, and certainly most people and most times just get on with their daily lives and don't think about these things very much. But very often a crisis will occur and they feel they need something beyond themselves which actually gives them meaning or stability, and very often that is when religion begins to come into its own. And I think actually one of the key tests for whether religion is failing is what happens at moments of crisis. What do you turn to? And I still see religion playing that critical role for people at those junctures. Many people who I know who are atheists will say something like this, that the atheist world is actually unimaginative. It lacks something that makes me want to do what Christians do when they worship. There's no oomph, there's no dynamism to it. It's actually, if I dare say it, deadly dull. And it just seems to me that actually atheists really need to get their act together and be more interesting and exciting, rather than some of the dull, plodding stuff we see in some popular atheist writing.
Well, look, let's just put it this way. I'm an atheist, and I think I've got lots of zest and enthusiasm for life and ideas. So, you know, I think that's the way of the future.
Well, I think you're a great guy, and I hope you're right for your sake. But I'm not so sure. I think that we're seeing a revival of interest in religion, but this dialogue is going to go on. So let's hope we have a good, enjoyable dialogue and see where it goes.
Well, let's see where it goes.
Yes, let's go.